And welcome to Week 7 here at RedHawks Stadium in Monroe, North Carolina for the Battle of 74 in the Rocky River Conference opener for the Monroe RedHawks as they are getting ready to take on the big rival here in Union County, that is Forest Hills, the Yellow Jackets, visiting from Marshville. And it's me, David Stiles, along with my broadcast partner, Hayden McAteer. Hayden, how you doing tonight?
Good, man. Glad to have you down here. I had to convince you very heavily to escape Mooresville for a night, but I am delighted to have you join us here tonight.
Yeah, it should be a good night of football. But this matchup has been dominated by Mooresville for the past, 20 times they've played. Mooresville's won 14. Monroe has won 14 of them, and Forest Hills has only won 4. The last time the Yellow Jackets took home a victory was back in 2010. So Monroe dominating this matchup as of late.
Yes, absolutely. And last year's game was a very closely contested matchup out in Marshville. The RedHawks coming into this game tonight, they have a lot of different looks on offense. Quarterback's brand new, Kagan Chambers. He's done well. A couple Players of the Week honors for him. Not only that, but Zach Melton. Keep that name in mind as you watch this game tonight. The reason why, he is averaging 49-point-something yards a kick return. So let's see if Forest Hills is going to kick it to him or if they're going to kick it out of bounds every time. If it's up to me, I played against Monroe when they had a guy by the name of Jamison Crowder. You don't kick it to a guy that can do that with a football.
Well, the Yellow Jackets have started the season off 5-0. Monroe coming into this one 4-1, but they did hang a 70-piece on a team earlier in the season, so they do have the ability to score points. Forest Hills, on the other hand, they've scored 35 points in every game but one, and that was against a community Davidson school that they played 2 weeks ago. So both of these teams, I think, very well versed. We'll see what happens. Currently, we have the Monroe Band out on the field and the NJROTC getting ready to present our colors, and we will get ready for the national anthem here in Monroe, North Carolina.
This always attracts a big crowd, and I don't think it's going to slow down anytime soon. This thing's going to be standing room only before the night is over.
As we have the drum majors out at the 50, the rest of the band on the home side.
Johnny Sound. The colors tonight are being presented by your Monroe High School Air Force Junior ROTC cadets of North Carolina 931. Introducing on the United States flag, Cadet Major Ian Bowling. Carrying the North Carolina flag, Cadet Master Sergeant Shelley Lopez. Carrying the United States Air Force flag, Cadet Staff Sergeant Isabella Rodriguez. Left Rifleman, Cadet Senior Airman Danny Eslis. Right Rifleman, Cadet Airman First Class Felipe Floyd. At this time, we ask you to please stand, and gentlemen, to remove your hats as the Red Storm, under the directorship of Mr. Alan Sturdivant, plays our national anthem.
You're on, Jay.
Rendition of the national anthem by the Monroe Band. And Hayden, like you said, there's a lot of people here tonight. The Forest Hills sign on the visitor side is looking full of black and gold. Monroe sign full of red and black tonight. So it's going to be a packed house.
So the back and forth that these two teams had all week has been Forest Hills. Last I saw, Forest Hills told all their fans, come in here and wear black. Meanwhile, I think the word got out to us because there's a ton of red in the stands on this side. I'm excited. This is pretty much a split house, and I can't wait to see what happens here tonight.
And there's nothing like rivalry football to begin with. I mean, these schools only separated by 12 miles straight down 74. So this is what a rivalry should be. I know it's been a little one-sided lately, but there's nothing like coming into someone else's house and trying to steal away with a win. Forest Hills having a pretty good season, but Monroe also having a really good season. So we'll see what happens here tonight at RedHawks Stadium, and we'll bring you all the action.
So earlier we had a bye week last week here at Monroe. The week before that, we hosted a big cross-county opponent, Blue Ridge. They're a 4A school. They got out to an early lead on us, but we were able to rally in the second half. We came back and ended up being 28-20. So looking at how the points split up between these two teams, they're only separated, if you take their average scores per quarter, they're only separated by a touchdown. Monroe having a touchdown advantage as you look at their past games this season. So we'll see if it stays that close.
What time do you want me to start moving
exactly
to the middle
about
or wherever you want me to go?
Monroe has had a lot of games that end up having a running clock once you get in the second half.
And we have the captains out on the field now. Looks like John Allen. We will also have Ashton Stevens. And on the far right is Jaden Olden.
Again?
The leading tackler, linebacker for this team. A menace in the middle of the field.
For Forest Hills, it will be Ross Smith wearing the number 6 tonight. We will also have Braxton Grace along with Terrell Williams. And the final captain for Forest Hills will be Brady Hibbert. As we get ready for the coin toss here at midfield.
There is gate directly in front of the edge of the field.
Tell me where.
We didn't talk about it. We didn't talk
Get
about
ready
it.
for the coin toss. Here it is, up in the air.
Like normal. Drum line got to lead us all the way down. All the
Monroe
way
has
down.
won
Tell me
the
where.
toss. They defer to the second half.
Go forward.
Forest Hills will receive here in the first quarter.
For the Forest Hills Yellow Jackets, number 2.
Over there. I'll go.
As Monroe will defend the west end zone. And they will be kicking to Forest Hills. So Forest Hills will start with the football to start this one. Monroe will kick to them. As we get 12 minutes up on the clock, Hayden, we're about ready for some football.
I'm excited. I think the fans are excited. This has been brewing since last year. Coming into a hostile territory, Forest Hills, like you said,
Get ready to roll.
lately they haven't had the best of luck, but I think regardless of when these two come together, it's going to be an electric atmosphere, an electric football game.
There's just nothing like football in the Carolinas anyway. I think Carolina football has its own flavor, as you could say, as Monroe now getting ready to take the field, getting ready to burst through their banner
Is that fine, though?
as cross-county rival Forest Hills visiting tonight. Again, Forest Hills will be in white jerseys with black helmets. Monroe wearing the black helmets, red tops, and black pants with red and white stripes.
I never had to play Forest Hills when I was growing up in the county. We never had them on our schedule. We never competed, but I was a part of the first game ever played at this stadium, and I know it gets loud. If it ain't swaying, we ain't playing.
And here come your Monroe RedHawks as they take the field. A big backflip from Rajon Allen as they take the field. Lost his hat, but regained his composure.
I tell you what, man, it always makes me nervous when they do that because I'm a lineman, so I could never do it anyways, but I see somebody do that, and I'm like, please don't drop yourself on your own head.
Well, I know that you said earlier that you never got the opportunity to play Forest Hills. My alma mater, I went to Pisgah High School in Western North Carolina. We've actually played Forest Hills twice. Both times in the playoffs, we beat them both times.
Hey, that's a good track record.
A few little bragging rights here in the Monroe press box tonight.
They had a very stout defense last year. I don't remember how many seniors they had leave the field, leave the team for graduation this past year, but I do know, like I said earlier, Monroe, we've got a new quarterback. We've had an injury at running back. Nate Crosby is a senior running back, and he has actually not played a game yet this season. He's been fighting through an injury, and tonight's his first night back dressing for the RedHawks.
Back deep to return from Forest Hills is Christian Washington, along with Jarrell Boulder. As the kicker for Monroe,
Zach Corralius,
gets ready to boot this one deep for the RedHawks.
He has a big leg, so I don't see why he would do anything but kick it out into the end zone. He's got the leg to do it. He's done it before.
And here goes Peralius off of his right foot. It will be fielded right at the 7. And he takes off, running to the left side. Breaks a tackle, continues to coast. Breaks another tackle, finally pushed out of bounds past the 35. That was Jarrell Boulder on the return. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Yellow Jackets.
If there's any weakness in this Red Hawk team that I've seen so far, it is their kick coverage. We always seem to have a good return given up on us.
And controlling the offense tonight will be Hibbert for the Yellow Jackets. 2 receivers to the left side, 1 receiver to the right. And we already have an early penalty flag by the back judge.
It's like we're counting.
And I think he just miscounted. I think he thought we had too many men on the field.
It's okay. Everybody gets a mulligan. There's his.
This will be 1st and 10 from the 37. Hibbert in the backfield. Here's a snap. He drops back to pass. He's going to roll over to the right side. Nowhere to go. He's going to throw it, and it's completed and pushed out of bounds as Ross Smith hauled it in.
Jordan Young shoves him out of bounds, but we have a penalty flag coming from the opposite side of the field. Jordan Young, if the college is in the ACC or the SEC, he's pretty much got an offer from him, and it looks like an eligible man downfield against the Yellow Jackets.
That'll back them up 5 yards. It'll still be 1st down.
It's hard to keep up with Jordan Young's offers that he's had, but I believe the last one that he got was Arkansas.
They beat Western Carolina at the beginning of the year.
Hey, I would love to see him in the purple and gold. Me and David both went to Western Carolina University. And excited to see how he plays. He's not our only college prospect, but I'll get to that in just a moment.
Motion now into the backfield for Smith. Hibbert with the snap, hands it off, running to the right side, breaks a tackle, finally corralled and wrapped up by a host of RedHawks as he gains 4 on the play, almost back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd down and 12.
Good gain. He found an open found an open lane. He was able to get some yardage back. 2nd and 12, though. They're still behind the sticks here. See if Monroe can close up those running lanes.
3 receivers split out to the left side. Hibbert in the backfield. Smith lined up on his right hip pocket. And looks like there will be a false start on the RedHawks as the left defensive end jumped off sides. So that will net Forest Hills 5 yards on the play.
After the penalty, that'll put them at what, David? Flag off.
Oh, they waved it off. So it'll say 2nd and 12. Guess the line judge said he didn't break the neutral zone. 3 receivers split out to the left. Hibbert in the backfield. Here's the snap. He drops back to pass, looks to the left, pumps, throws it, completed, and it will be a positive gain on the play
Rajon Allen bringing the lumber and losing his helmet there. So he'll have to leave the field for one play. But still in a decent spot here. Looks like Forest Hills is going to have this third down.
And Hibbert tonight has shown a lot of poise in the pocket already. Monroe able to bring a lot of pressure here early on this first series. He's been able to elude it, pump fake, and find his receivers open downfield. It's third down, though.
And 4.
Little stutter step motion for the Yellow Jackets. Here's Hibbert. Fake handoff, drops back to pass, a little bit of pressure. Now he's going to scramble to the left. He's going to take off and run, try for the first down, and he gets it as he dives out of bounds. It'll be a first down for Forest Hills.
Zion Lindsay brought pressure that time. If he would have kept his feet, I don't know that it would have probably been a sack, and it would have gotten this defense off the field, but he's able to make a miss. Quarterback gets out on the edge. Great job by him, and it's going to give the Yellow Jackets, a first down and 10.
Ball spotted at the 47. As the Yellow Jackets break the huddle. 2 receivers to the left, H-back to the left. Smith in the backfield with Hibbert. Now he's going to go in motion, and it'll make it an empty set. Now Smith in motion, back into the backfield. Here's a snap. Inside handoff to Smith, running to the right, breaks a tackle. Gain of maybe 6 on the play. And there will be a flag right there as a couple of athletes got tangled up. Looks like Caden Smith for Forest Hills.
Number 21, he ripped Rajon Allen's helmet off. We talked about this crosstown rivalry being big. Emotions are running a little high already, and we are 10 minutes and 24 seconds left in the first quarter. That penalty, again, goes against Forest Hills. The Yellow Jackets have had a lot of penalties so far that have shot themselves in the foot. Be interested to see how their coaches can gather this team and regain their composure. It's too early to be giving up this amount of penalty yards.
Yeah, and a face mask away from the play even. I mean, that...
Yeah, that adds a little insult to injury, so to speak. I understand these rivalry games are huge, but you've got to keep your composure because at the end of the day, the only people you're hurting is yourself.
10:24 left to go here in the first quarter. It'll be first down and 20 for Forest Hills. Motion now across the formation from left to right. Here's a snap. Hibbert controls the snap, steps up in the pocket, nowhere to go, and he is sacked. Brought down in the backfield. I think it was Jamari Jackson.
The true freshman gets back there, splits the blockers trying to get to him. I don't know if the quarterback legitimately fell or if he just sensed the pressure was coming and he just went ahead and tried to brace himself for it.
So now it's second down and 25. As Hibbert will try to recover. But like I said earlier, they've been bringing a lot of pressure tonight. The RedHawks have pretty much from the get-go.
They have, and it's starting to, I think it's already starting to affect them a little bit. Some of the timing that Forest Hills has had, like even just on the center quarterback exchange, that last snap was inaccurate.
Motion across the formation, inside handoff to Smith. Takes it on a good hole, running to the left side, and is wrapped up by 4 or 5 RedHawks and finally taken down as he gets across the 50.
We do have, I don't know if that's a Yellow Jacket glove or a flag on the far side, but when you look at these two teams and you look at the lines, Forest Hills definitely has a size advantage up front. So what Monroe's going to have to do is rely on their athleticism and their quickness to get off these blocks, and it looks like, according to the
head official, it'll be another holding call on Forest Hills. So that's, what, the third penalty in this opening drive?
Yeah, Monroe has not had the football yet. It's all been Forest Hills, and they continue to have self-inflicted wounds here. I could tell, I didn't see where the white hat was, but I could tell by the body language of some of the linemen that they were displeased with that call.
So after about 3 minutes have elapsed here in the first half, it's been all Yellow Jackets, but they went forward and now went back as they gained a first down, and now they're back behind their original line of scrimmage where they started this drive.
Exactly.
And
they started on, what, about the 40?
Yeah, 42? So they're about
and now they're all the way back to the 20.
10 yards behind where they started. Here's Hibbert. He's in the backfield. Inside handoff to Smith. Almost the same exact play. Gain of maybe 3 or 4 on the carry, and it'll be fourth down. for the Yellow Jackets. 9:15 left to go here in the first quarter. 0-0 ball game in Monroe.
Looks like Zion Lindsay on the tackle there, getting out on the edge. I have not seen a punter come on the field yet for Forest Hills, but Monroe is setting up for the kick return. Zach Melton has stepped out onto the field at about the 33.
I think Forest Hills took a timeout.
While they figure out what they're going to do, again, welcome all of you in. If you're new, if you haven't seen a game on here yet, every position, every camera that you see, the director, the people running the graphics, all of these are Monroe High School students. They're all less than 18 years old, and I don't know how many people could say I did a live broadcast before I turned 18, but it's an excellent opportunity for them. I'm glad that they've decided to take advantage of the opportunity, and they're doing awesome job so far for us.
And it does look like Forest Hills will punt this one away.
Now, like we talked about in the pregame, Zach Melton, he averages 49 and some odd yards a kick return. If I'm Forest Hills, this thing is, I would rather it hit a cheerleader than it go to Zach Melton.
Spiraling kick, and it'll take a good Monroe bounce, and it'll finally be down at the 41-yard line for the RedHawks. They'll get their first offensive possession now of the ball game. 8:45 left to go here in the first quarter. Still a tie game, 0-0.
Tie game. Now, let's see when the RedHawks come out here. They get it 1st and 10. They've got great field position. It'll be interesting to see if they have the same issues that Forest Hills had when they started this game off. I think, honestly, whoever can jump out ahead first and keep their composure, they're going to be set up pretty good.
Forest Hills in a 4-3. Here's the snap, inside handoff, and he rumbles over on the left side and taken down, gain of 8 on the play.
Big Zion Lindsay, a big bruiser back. He has just look at him, the legs on that guy. He's going to make some people miss, but he's also going to drag a couple defenders. Excellent job to find open space and keep moving after contact by Zion Lindsay.
Chambers at the controls for the RedHawks. They break the huddle, 2 receivers to the right, 2 receivers to the left. 2nd down and 3. Here's the snap, inside handoff, wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage, and maybe a gain of 2 on the play as he leaned forward. That time on the carry, it was Kendall.
Amir Kendall, one of the younger horses in this running back stable for the RedHawks. The main runner that we expected to see this year, his senior year, as they call the first down for the RedHawks on the field. Nate Crosby, who has accepted to play at James Madison University, but he has not hit the field tonight. He's been nursing an injury. Be interested to see if he steps on the field tonight.
I formation for the RedHawks. Chambers under center. Here's the snap, handoff in the backfield. Broken tackle, continuing to rumble on the right side, and finally taken down. And I feel like that's a little bit of a late whistle. They should blow that a little bit earlier once forward momentum is stopped.
A little bit earlier, especially in a game like this. Like, I know that Amir was trying to spin out of another tackle, but at some point, the longer you wait to blow that whistle, the more that somebody's going to start getting irritated. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 6 now for the RedHawks.
Monroe on the move in Yellow Jacket territory. 2 running backs in the backfield. Chambers being flanked by Lindsay and Melton. Here's the snap. Handoff to Melton as he's running on the left side. A lot of speed. He takes off at the 40, down to the 30. One man to beat and pushed out of bounds right at the 35 for the RedHawks. Big first down play there for Melton as he takes it off the left side.
As a defender, they always preach when you're being coached up, you're talking pursuit angles. It doesn't work with somebody like that. When you have that kind of blazing speed to outrun people's pursuit angles, you are a very tough opponent to bring down. And I think if number 14 out there on the edge would have kept that block, we might have our first touchdown of the game.
Kendall in the backfield with Chambers as Melton now split out to the far right. Here's a snap, inside handoff to Kendall. He rumbles ahead, breaks a tackle, continues to roll on the left side, and finally tackled out of bounds right at the 20. It'll be 2nd down and 5 as the RedHawks are knocking on the red zone of the Yellow Jackets here early. 6:22 left to go in the first quarter. Still a tie ball game, 0-0.
Definitely difference in teams right now. Monroe has not had any, knock on wood, has not had any kind of self-inflicted wounds here, and they are taking full advantage of that.
Lindsey now lined up in an H-back position on the right side. Chambers in the backfield. Here's the snap. It's going to be a QB power run. He breaks a tackle and very close to the first down marker. I think he does have it. First down, RedHawks.
When we were at Western Carolina, when I was helping the coaching staff there, we would call that a truck play. You overload the offensive line on one side, you get plenty of blockers, and then just try to find a crease. Excellent job there by Kagan Chambers to get that first down yardage. 1st and 10, Monroe.
Line to gain will be just shy of the 5-yard line, but it'll be 1st and 10. Ball spotted on the 21. Lindsey in the backfield with Chambers. 2 receivers split out to each side. Here's the snap. Inside fake. They're going to throw it over to Melton in space on the little bubble route, and he's taken down behind the line of scrimmage. Really nowhere to go. Excellent pursuit that time by Forest Hills.
Me personally, some people love it, but I am not a fan of the bubble screens because you're asking receivers who are not used to blocking, hey, go out here and block this guy on the edge, and those edge blockers can really make or break a play.
Well, I understand why. You're trying to get your athletes in space to make a play and maybe break a tackle to gain yardage. And some coaches use that as kind of a quasi-run play.
Yes.
But in this case, Forest Hills, very good pursuit. Chambers now in the backfield. Kendall on his right hip. Here's the snap. Inside handoff to Kendall. Rumbling on the left side. Dragging a couple of defenders with him as he gets down close to the 15.
Bring it back to about
It'll be 3rd down. 4:24 left to go here in the first quarter. Still a tie ball game, 0-0. Forest Hills' first possession was penalty laden. So far, the RedHawks, they've been able to move the ball on the ground pretty easily here. I formation for Monroe. Lindsey at fullback. Kendall in the backfield. Here's the snap. Fake handoff. Chambers going to load up, throw it over the middle, and it's picked off in the end zone. Forest Hills with a huge interception. They'll start their next drive at their own 20 as it was picked off.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Yellow Jackets. You see what Kagan Chambers was trying to do there. He was trying to hit Jordan Young on that route going over the middle. Didn't read him quite enough. Left the defender an opportunity to get at the ball, and that's exactly what they did. So the Yellow Jackets will take over once again. 1st and 10 on the 20-yard line.
And as a defensive back, when that was red, they were trying to throw that post route kind of over the middle. And he did a good fake, but the safety was just able to read it, came over top, and just picked it right off. So Hibbard now on his 2nd attempt here for the Yellow Jackets. 3 seconds on the play clock. And they're going to blow this dead. That's a delay of game. That'll be 5 yards. So still more penalties lining up for Forest Hills early in this contest.
When you have a sudden change like that in your defense, Monroe is knocking on the door. When your defense gives you a gift like that, forces that takeaway, you've got to be able to take advantage of it. Forest Hills right now, it seems like they're almost a broken record on offense. The defense bowed up when they needed to. Let's see if the offense is going to get anything going. So that'll be 1st down and 15 now.
Ball spotted on the 15. Hibbard in the backfield. 2 receivers to each side. Here's the snap. Inside handoff to Smith. And he's met right at the line of scrimmage, and that'll be a no gain on the play. So it'll be 2nd down and 15 for the Yellow Jackets.
The speed on that Monroe defense, it'll be interesting to see as the game progresses how this Yellow Jackets team kind of fights that. As a guy who's played Monroe before, this is probably the biggest sideline they've had in a long time. Coach Sal has done a great job conditioning his players. They never get tired. So as this game progresses, it'll be interesting to see how well conditioned Forest Hills is.
3rd down and 15. Hibbard in the backfield, flanked by a running back to his right side. 2 receivers to each side. He drops back, pump fake, steps up in the pocket, rolls to the left, nowhere to go, throws it to the outlet. He does a little stutter step, breaks the tackle, and is finally taken down. Won't be enough for the 1st down, but gain considerable yardage. It'll be 3rd down and maybe 7.
Now, if they don't have that delay of game penalty, you're pretty close to the sticks there. You're at least tempted to go for it. But those self-inflicted penalties are still bothering the Yellow Jackets. And if you're Monroe, that's 2 or 3 times now that they have gotten pressure on the quarterback, and he has been able to get outside of it.
Hibbard's done a good job all night of stepping up in the pocket once he feels pressure, and able to create on offense for this Yellow Jacket.
His awareness
team
is really good right now.
Empty set. He drops back to pass, loads up, throws it quick, completed to Smith, very close to the first down marker, and it will be first down for the Yellow Jackets.
Another 1st and 10, sat down in zone coverage and just waited for the ball to come to him. He got to the sticks, and he made himself available to the quarterback. Good job there by Forest Hills getting just what they needed.
And when they're in an empty set like that, you have to think the ball is going to come out pretty quick. There's really no one to help pass protect when you go, 5 wide receivers. So that was a very good play design for the Yellow Jackets. Got the ball out of Hibbert's hand very quickly and able to pick up the first down.
And we have laundry on the field here. Be interesting to see what they call.
As the officials now get together, they're standing at the Yellow Jacket 25.
But this has kind of been the MO for the Yellow Jackets so far. They get a little bit of advantage. They start moving the ball, and then they have another penalty. If this is indeed goes against Forest Hills. It's
definitely a plight because they've been able to move the ball consistently, but they haven't been able to string together a couple of first downs. They've had 2, but they have.
According to our PA announcer, they called an ineligible receiver downfield. That'll definitely kill it, especially we talked about that formation. It was 5 wide. There's no reason for a receiver to be down there, or for a lineman to be down there.
So it'll be second down again as they will back. Well, they kept it 3rd and 7. No, they are. They're going to back it back up. It'll be second down, probably from the spot of the play. So it'll be second down and 12. Here's the snap. Inside handoff to Smith. Breaks a tackle. Little stutter step. And gains maybe 4 on the play. It'll be third down.
Jaden Olden in there on the tackle along with Brajon Allen. 2 seniors, 2 leaders on this defense. And what I'm seeing so far, even though they have the size advantage, Forest Hills' offensive line is not getting enough push, and the running backs have to bounce it.
Excuse me, it was 4th down. It was now 4th and 9. I thought that on that penalty they would have went back to second down, correct?
Right.
Or that was third down.
Well,
sorry, I'm getting confused.
Hey, when you have this many penalties, it turns into a roller coaster trying to keep up.
Almost blocked on the punt. Spiraling kick. It'll land at the 50. Melton is going to look at it. It takes a good Yellow Jacket bounce, and they'll finally down it in Monroe territory right at the 37.
So Monroe will take over again, 1st and 10. What did we learn the first time they were out there? They were able to move the ball effectively through the air, on the ground. When we get into the red zone this time, let's see if they decide to throw, if Kagan Chambers can get more arm into it, lead his receivers a little bit more, and see if he can leave the defenders in the dust.
I do like that the RedHawks switch up their formations. We've seen some of the double running back shotgun. We've seen I formation. I like that. It allows the defense to have to change personnel as well. Currently, they're in a trip set shotgun formation. Here's the snap. Chambers inside handoff to Kendall. Met in the backfield, breaks a tackle, still on his feet as he continues to surge ahead. He maybe gained a yard on the play, so it'll be second down and 9.
That's a hard yard right there, man. It had him as soon as he hit the line of scrimmage. There was Jackets all over him. You talked about Monroe changing their offensive formations. Most high schools, they're nervous about doing that. They'll only run 3 or 4, maybe 10 plays out of a formation, but the ones that the high schools that can separate themselves, they'll run multiple plays out of different formations just to give them different looks, but it's all the same plays, just different formations.
Trip set to the left side. Milton in the slot. Kendall in the backfield with Chambers. Here's the snap. Fake. Chambers drops back to pass, loads up, throws it down the middle of the field. Receiver is there and into coverage and incomplete.
Jordan Young.
And it was hauled in. It was.
Again, excellent job by Kagan Chambers, but you would have loved to have seen him lead him just a little bit more so Jordan Young could have caught that in stride. Still, heck of a play by Monroe. 1st and 10, back in business at the 25-yard line.
And that has to be a huge confidence boost for Chambers as well after throwing a pick on the last time that he dropped back to pass. So now they're knocking on the door again. 1st down and 10, ball spotted on the 25 for the RedHawks. Shotgun formation, 2 receivers to each side.
They will not.
And there
get
will be a
this.
timeout, or excuse me, not a timeout, into the first quarter. Still a 0-0 ball game.
It's a slugfest so far, and I think, honestly, for both sides, it's been missed opportunities. Forest Hills, it's self-inflicted, right? They've had all the penalties, puts them in long yard situations. And for Monroe, we had that huge interception going into the end zone that gave the Yellow Jackets the ball again. As this, like I said before, as this game progresses, what I'm going to be looking to see is the conditioning of the Yellow Jackets players, because I promise you, when I took this job and I talked to Coach Sal in my interview, I said, man, I got to be honest, I always hated playing you guys. He asked me why. I said, because when I played against you, you had 25 guys on this team, and none of them got tired. I've never seen that before in my life, and it still holds true today. He's been one of the most storied coaches in North Carolina, elected to the Shrine Bowl, coached the Shrine Bowl for North Carolina this year, honored him before the game last time we played out here against Porter Ridge.
And again, 12 more minutes back up on the board here to start the second quarter. Still a 0-0 ball game. Some other Rocky River Conference games that you may be aware of. Piedmont taking on West Stanley tonight, and then Anson taking on Parkwood. So everyone getting started here in the Rocky River Conference this Friday night in Week 7 of the North Carolina high school football season.
Parkwood, coached by former Parkwood player Sam Mobley. He was a freshman, now a senior. Went on to play the XFL for a couple years and come back home and trying to build something over there at Parkwood.
First down and 10 for the RedHawks. Ball spotted on the 25. They're now headed into the west end zone here at home in Monroe, North Carolina. It'll be Lindsay in the backfield with Chambers.
But we have yet to get his replacement out there on the field. And here he comes.
That's always one of those things that we were preached at Pisgah. It's like, you better not wear anything you're not supposed to wear, because if you have to come off and go back on, you're going to flip the tire the next day at practice.
And we had helmet buddies. So if somebody broke a helmet, we had to find someone with the same size head.
Bubble screen over to the right side, and he gained some positive yardage, but taken down by a host of Yellow Jackets on the play. Maybe a gain of 3. So it'll be second down and 7. Ball's, 5. The angle that I'm at's a little funny. I'm being blocked by half of the press box right here.
Yeah, it's a special little setup we got going here. It does look like it'll be second and 7.
2 receivers split to each side. Chambers at the controls. Lindsay in the backfield on his left hip. Here's the snap. They drop back to pass. Chambers loads up, throws it over to the right side, and just out of reach. Intended for Young. As it's incomplete, it'll be third down and 7.
It looked like there was a little bit of miscommunication there. Young cut it inside, and Kagan was thinking he's going to stay straight. It looked like it was just Kagan threw it like it was a go route, and Jordan was running a post.
So third down and 7. 11:19 left to go here in the second quarter in the first half. 0-0 ball game.
And it looks like they called ineligible receiver downfield on Monroe now, their first penalty of the night.
So that's what, twice we've had that now in this contest?
At least twice. And it'll push them back. Monroe now has a second down and 11 for them. Second down and 11 now. And worst possible thing that can happen is both teams start getting penalty hungry.
Lindsay in the backfield with Chambers. Melton lined up in a slot position on the right side. Here's the snap. Fake handoff. It's a reverse to Melton, running on the left side. Forest Hills trying to corral him. He breaks a tackle. There is a flag thrown over on the 20 as he picks up enough yardage for a first down, but there may be a hold. This one may come back.
If it stands, that was an excellent job by Zach Melton. Another dangerous thing with him being so fast, he's extremely short. It's easy to lose sight of somebody like that. He's just a red blur going past him. And it does appear that it's going against Monroe, unfortunately. So negate a great effort by Zach Melton there.
It was second down and 11. Now it'll be second down and 21.
A long way to go. And if you're Monroe, you get down in the red zone, you get in position to score. The last thing you want to do is start giving away yardage.
11-11 left to go here in the second quarter. Still a 0-0 ball game from the Battle of 74. Just 12 miles separates these two schools. Monroe has been a school since 1875, so it's
been a long time.
Here's the snap. Chambers drops back to pass, rolling to the right side, looking downfield. He heaves it deep for the end zone, and it's incomplete, in and out of the hands of the receiver as he just couldn't hold on. Good defense by the Yellow Jackets as he almost pulled it in the right corner of the end zone.
That would have been one of those ESPN highlight reel plays if he could have just held on to it. Excellent job there on the coverage, though, by number 7 for the Yellow Jackets. It'll bring up a third down for Monroe now, and you got to be thinking, you're close. If you get any amount of yardage, you get close to that first down marker, are you going to go for it?
0-0 ball game, rivalry game. You'd almost have to think the momentum would be huge. You've been able to stop the Yellow Jackets a couple of different times on defense. It may be worth the gamble, especially they would have to drive the whole length of the field to score.
I think if you get this thing inside the 20, they go for it.
Trips bunch set to the right side. Chambers drops back to pass, looking to the right side, loads up, throws it deep for the end zone. The defenders fall down, and it's hauled in. Touchdown for the RedHawks. Jordan Young.
Gotta love the young man. Oh, and he's not a senior. He's just a junior. What a error by the Yellow Jackets. It looked like they just ran into each other, and that was all it needed to give Jordan Young the space to catch that ball. Great job of taking advantage of the opportunity that was given to him, fighting through those penalties, and now they get the first points of the game.
Chambers able to evade a couple of tacklers, really loaded it up, threw it in a good position where Young was the only one that could come down with it after the two defenders collided. So Monroe out to the early lead. Here's the snap, here's the hold, kick is up, and it is good. 7-0 for the RedHawks here at home. 10:39 left to go here in the second quarter as Monroe gets ready to kick off to the Yellow Jackets for their third possession of the game.
And I said this at the beginning, you know, one of the biggest knocks, the biggest knock that Monroe has, for whatever reason, I'm not sure if people don't stay in their pursuit lane on kickoffs, but Monroe, if there is an Achilles heel of this team, it is they give up a lot of yardage on kickoff. That's why I think Zach Perialis needs to boot this thing into the end zone. He has the leg to do it. If you kick it in the end zone, you don't have to worry about covering that kick.
And Perialis getting ready to boot this one deep. Should be those same two returners for the Yellow Jackets. Looks like Christian Washington. And over on the right side, it will be Jarrell Boulder. And so far tonight, Forest Hills punt, but both times plagued by penalties. Monroe, they had a good offensive possession, had an INT in the end zone, able to get the ball back, and here on their second possession, they hang 7 on the board. 10:39 left to go here in the second quarter as Perry Ellis, little pooch kick over to the left side. It is caught and returned by the Yellow Jackets at the 30. Stutter Step continues to rumble ahead, and he'll be tackled just shy of the 45. 1st and 10 for Forest Hills.
I believe that was number 6 on the return there, and pooch kick makes a little bit different situation than kicking it deep, but Forest Hills still gets this thing on the 41-yard line. Good starting position for them. Let's see if the penalty bug is still affecting them, though.
Well, we've seen Hibbard all night. He's been able to elude pressure. He gets the ball out of his hand very quickly. They've been able to move the ball. They just haven't been able to turn that into first downs to move themselves down the field. I don't think they've yet to cross the 50.
And every time they do move the ball, there's always a penalty to knock them back where they were or further back than where they were.
Motion now across the formation, back to the right side. Here's the snap. Hibbard's inside handoff is to Smith. He's going to rumble ahead and maybe gain a yard on the play. Looks like it'll be second down and a long 9.
Zion Lindsay there on the tackle. Excellent job shedding the block on the edge and just sitting there waiting. You know the running back's coming. Let's wrap them up, bring them down for a short gain. 2nd and 9 now for the Yellow Jackets.
And I'm like you, so far the Red Hawk defense has been stellar. They've been able to elongate the passing lanes for these Yellow Jackets and not really give up anything deep. Hibbard's really having to get the ball out of his hand fast. They've been bringing a lot of pressure. 2 receivers to the left, 1 receiver to the right. Hibbard with the snap. He drops back to pass. He's going to load up, throw it over to the right side. Ball fought for, almost picked off, but it'll be incomplete. 3rd down and a long 9 for the Yellow Jackets, as it was knocked away that time in defense by Isaiah Kennedy.
You look at just not even, I said the lineman earlier, so we know the size difference of the lineman, but across the board, the Yellow Jackets have size, but so far the athleticism of Monroe is being able to overcome that size disadvantage, and they are performing really well on defense right now.
Very physical bunch here tonight in Monroe, North Carolina for the RedHawks. Forest Hills now in a 3rd down and long situation. 9:39 left to go here in the second quarter. Monroe leading this one 7-0. Hibbard in the backfield, 3 receivers split to the left, 1 receiver to the right. Here's the snap. Hibbard drops back to pass, throws it to the outlet. It is completed, and he's going to be wrapped up instantly. That time taken down by Johnson, I think, on the play, as it was thrown over to Boulder, and he was not able to pick up any yardage. 4th down and 9.
Once again, I mean, I'm not always going to be right. I will never say that. But once again, the screens, I'm never a fan. Right there, they tried to clear them out and try to bait Monroe into covering deep. But we stayed in position just long enough to see that screenplay develop, close in, and knock them down. No gain. Here comes the Yellow Jackets on the punt again.
And Brejon Allen with the tackle, for the RedHawks. Here's the snap. Punt is away, end over end. It will take a good bounce and a good Forest Hills roll and roll out of bounds near the 25.
So far, when they have punted, obviously they're not giving Zach anything remotely close to him being able to return. And I think that trying to limit him is probably going to be on everybody's keys to victory list whenever they play Monroe.
So Monroe now, after scoring on their last drive, will come out and see if they can gain pay dirt again, and a full set motion now by Melton and another receiver as they go to the left side of the formation. Chambers in the backfield. Here's the snap, inside handoff, and he breaks a tackle. Kendall on the move and finally pushed out of bounds. Nice juke move there by Kendall, and there will be a flag on the play, and that might be a unsportsmanlike conduct on the Yellow Jackets.
Judging by the body language of Monroe, I would definitely say it goes against Forest Hills. And before that play, with the mass shift that Monroe had, it's easy now. Once you do that, you get multiple people in motion, you're going to start seeing what they're in on defense. And you're going to be able to tell, what we just called, is this going to work? Nobody went with them? Yeah, this, whatever we just called, it's going to work. Unsportsmanlike called against Forest Hills, so it was already 1st down yardage. Now they're just giving them a little extra there. It'll be 1st and 10 for Monroe.
And let's see where they eventually spot this. It'll be right at the 50. So huge yardage swing for the RedHawks after just one play from the line of scrimmage here on their second possession of the second quarter. 8:28 left to go here in the second. 7-0 lead for Monroe.
Yes, Monroe has taken advantage of opportunities, but those opportunities have come because the Yellow Jackets keep having penalty bugs. The Yellow Jackets at this point are beating themselves. You see that mass shift again.
Kendall in the backfield. Here's the snap. Almost ran the same exact play. It's to Lindsey as he continues to chug-a-lug ahead and finally taken down after a gain of 3 on the play. So it'll be 2nd down and 7.
Zion Lindsey, although he makes his money, historically speaking, he's always been seen more at linebacker. But I tell you what, man, he does an excellent job of keeping his feet moving. Even after contact, to fight for those extra yards. It'll be 2nd down and 6 now for the RedHawks. See if they give it to him again.
They've ran almost the same play 2 times in a row now with this shift from right to left across the formation and then the inside handoff on the zone. 3 receivers split to the left, 1 running back in the backfield with Chambers. Here's the snap. He's going to roll to the left and load up and fire it deep, and it's fought for and knocked in and out of the hands of the receiver.
That's another time there. You would love to see Kagan. I understand that you're trying to roll out, but set your feet, get some strength behind that throw. That's 3 times now you would love to see him lead his receiver, but he leaves it up just a little bit. Receiver's got to slow down, defender's going to catch up, and it's going to be a contested catch.
So it'll be 3rd down and 6. And good defense that time by Forest Hills. Defender able on that inside release, able to get up and get a paw on it to knock it away. And, I mean, you're right. Chambers put it in a good position where only his man could catch it or it was going to be tipped away. So just a little bit short on the throw. Monroe now breaks the huddle. They come out. 3rd down and 6. Little heavy formation now. A couple tight ends. They do another stop motion from right to left across the formation.
Young and Melton.
Lindsey in the backfield. Here's the snap, inside handoff, fake to Lindsey. Chambers rolls out to the left. He's going to throw it. It's completed to Young. He breaks a tackle at the 40, down to the 30, pushed out of bounds. That's enough for a Red Hawk first down.
I tell you what, when Kagan Chambers finishes that fake, he turns around. He has a Yellow Jacket defender right in his face. Excellent job by him to create separation and still have your eyes downfield. That is something in high school football you don't see very often. When a quarterback's under pressure, they bring their eyes down and they're going to start scrambling. Excellent job by Chambers to find Jordan Young, and excellent job by Jordan Young to get the first down yardage.
Lindsey in the backfield with Chambers. 2 receivers split to the left, 2 split to the right. Chambers lined up on his left hip pocket. Fake handoff to Lindsey. Thrown on the bubble screen to Melton. Has some room to run. Breaks a tackle. Close to the end zone. There will be a flag thrown right at the 15 as Melton scoots ahead for a first down, but this one may come back a few yards.
You know, if this ends up being holding against Monroe, again, if you have speed, screens are great. But what I fear is now you have people who are not used to blocking. Now they have to block, and it is in fact holding against Monroe. You have people not used to blocking, not used to getting their hands on somebody. And when you have that, it's a little bit different on the line because you can kind of hide it sometimes there, but you're out there on an island. They're going to see that.
The good thing is that this is a spot penalty, so it is enforced from where the spot of the hold was taken. So he did gain, 5 yards on that carry?
Yeah, it'll be first down and 7 now once they walk back the penalty yardage. Now, it'll be interesting to see, do they do something like that again? Because you take away that penalty, Zach Melton is still deadly in open space.
First down and 7, 3 receivers split to the left. Here's the snap. Lindsey in the backfield. Chambers loads up, throws to the right side. Melton there, pulls it in, does a little stutter step, breaks a tackle, over to the right side, does another stutter step, and then finally taken down just inside the 10-yard line as a very athletic move by Zach Melton.
That shifty guy. So just to give you a little background here, Zach Melton has been on one of a multitude of our relay teams for track. He has that speed, but that time being able to change directions really quickly helped him out there. First and goal now for Monroe.
Yellow Jackets on the ropes as Monroe able to continue to run the ball, throw the ball, any kind of way they can get it to their athletes. They're having success. Inside handoff to Kendall, rumbling on the left side, pushing the pile, and they finally blow it dead. Again, that's one of those situations where I'd like to see them blow the whistle a little sooner.
Yep, especially, think of it this way. If one team got up on the other one early, right, you're delaying that whistle. Like I said, this is a rivalry game. Tempers are going to flare, and you delaying that whistle is just going to make it even worse.
6:12 left to go here in the second quarter. Monroe leading this one 7-0, but knocking on the doors again as the Yellow Jackets are trying to defend the, which end zone is this? West end zone.
Second and goal now for the RedHawks, and this is something that I'm not always a fan of, getting this spread out on the goal line. There's not a whole lot of real estate down here.
Inside handoff to Lindsey, over to the left side, breaks a tackle, and he is in for another Red Hawk touchdown.
Excellent job by the big man. He got a running touchdown last time we played against Porter Ridge to take the lead. He does it there again. Now I know why they split everybody out wide. We got to get defenders out of there to let this big man just run his way through this Jacket defense, and let's increase this lead.
It's always fun when you get to see the big man score anyway.
Oh, gosh. You know, I'm a lineman. Anytime linemen do anything, pick up a fumble, anytime I see a big man with a football, you know, my heart gets a little warm.
Perry Alice coming out to put this one through. Here's the snap. It's a little low, and it's going to be muffed. It'll be a hot as they try to run it in, and he will be taken down as the extra point will be no good on the low snap. So instead of a 14-point lead, 13-point lead, but Monroe still in control of this ball game.
Excellent effort by Quay Knotts to realize that. I don't know if he got the call out. It looked like everybody was still trying to block there, but he tried to make something out of it. Didn't quite turn out the way they wanted to, but hey, so far this game has gone their way. Forest Hills is still plagued by penalties. It was there on that drive as well. So, obviously, if you're Monroe, you don't want to rely on that too much, but you're okay.
13-0 is still a good thing.
Yes.
So that's what the score is currently. RedHawks leading this one over the visiting Yellow Jackets from Forest Hills, 13-0. 5:46 left to go here in the second quarter as Monroe gets ready to kick this one off to Forest Hills for their next possession of the ball game. And just a little reminder, Monroe will get the ball to start the second half. Perry Alice lining it up on the 40 on the X, just to the left of middle of the field. And back deep, it'll be that same two for the Yellow Jackets. It'll be Christian Washington and then Jarrell Boulder. They've both got their feet firmly planted on the 10. Does a little shimmy shake, points, and here we go. Perry Alice boots it deep, and it's hit off the hands of the up man. It'll be picked up by Boulder just at the 15. He will reverse field to the left, does a little stutter step across the middle, and gains positive yardage out to the 30.
I want to say that's the least amount of yards they've gotten on a kick return so far, but if you're the up back and it's over your head, let it go. Let it go. You're setting yourself up for disaster when that thing hits your hands and you don't keep it.
Again, this ball is not round. It is oblong. It takes a lot of funny bounces.
Like, whenever we did onside kicks at Western, they would tell the kicker, find the guy with the biggest eyes on that front line and make it ricochet off his head. You never, if it's anywhere over your head, you do not touch that ball.
And so far tonight, the Forest Hills offense, they've thrown the ball a lot. So when you do that, it stops the clock, so their possessions have been pretty quick. They haven't been able to take a lot of time, and as soon as I say that, they run the ball. Straight up the middle with Smith as he breaks a tackle. He has enough for a first down, I believe, as it'll be either second and short or first and 10. It will be first and 10 for the Yellow Jackets as he gets out past the Forest Hills 40. Ball spotted on the 41.
That time the size of Forest Hills worked to their advantage, was able to create a hole. Running back did an excellent job of getting through there and getting the yardage they needed for another first down.
Hibbert breaks the huddle. Again, both teams running kind of a spread offense. A little bit more beef now on the offensive line. Two tight end set for the Yellow Jackets. Receiver split to each side. Running back in the backfield with Hibbert. Claps his hands. Here's the snap. He drops back to pass. He loads up, throws it deep. Boulder is running and nowhere to go as he throws it out of bounds. Just a little bit too strong from Hibbert to Boulder. So second down at 10.
Overthrew the world there.
I mean, hey, you know it's not going to get picked off.
No, it's not going to get picked off. But also, I'm kind of glad it went out of bounds because RedHawks were closer to the ball than the Yellow Jacket was.
So Boulder brings the ball back to the 41, and they already had a ball out there, so he's a little confused. He comes off the field. Two receivers split to the left for the Yellow Jackets. Hibbert in the backfield, flanked by one running back. Motion now by the H-back from right to left across the formation. Here's the snap. Hibbert inside handoff. Running back breaks a tackle. Absorbs a huge hit that time from the crashing middle linebacker, Jaden Olden.
Big guy. I'm not sure if he's had any offers yet, but they are coming his way. His size and his speed is enticing to a lot of college programs.
Smith on the carry that time for the Yellow Jackets. Another strong carry for him. It'll be third down and 5. Two receivers split to the right, two to the left. Here's the snap. Inside handoff to Smith. He'll get another carry. Running left. Breaks a tackle. There's a flag thrown right at the 50, and he is finally wrapped up and taken down. That time on the tackle, it was Gavin Davis.
Gavin Davis plays defense, and he's also our backup quarterback, number 17. He's got some wheels, too. So whenever they've asked him to come in and take over and play quarterback, he's done exceptionally well, especially when you give him options.
And the plight for Forest Hills continues as they are called for another holding penalty. But if I'm the Yellow Jackets, I mean, they're going to back them up. It's going to be 3rd down and long because that was from the spot of the foul. I think I'd just hand it off and run it again. They've had success here this possession with running the ball with Smith as they've spread this Red Hawk defense out, and they've been running up the middle on the zone reads. Let's see if they continue that game plan. Smith in the backfield with Hubbard, 2 receivers split to each side. Another spread formation. 2 receivers here on the numbers are choked way down. The other 2 receivers split far out. Here's the snap. Hibbert drops back to pass. Little happy feet, nowhere to go. He's going to sling it over to the right side, and it will be completed, but not enough for a first down. Forest Hills, they'll have to punt. 3:19 left to go here in the second quarter. Monroe leading this one 13-0.
Good job by the quarterback of finding the open space, but still, 4th down and 8. It's been tough sledding for Yellow Jackets so far.
Again, just too many penalties.
Yes.
And I know that it'll have to come back to average at some point. But if this continues, it may be hard for them to move the ball at all. I don't think they've been past the 50 this whole game.
I don't think they have either. I think it's been a struggle for them, and almost gets to that punt again.
Booming sky kick. Melton will call for a fair catch. And it'll be a 1st and 10, ball spotted on the 27-yard line for the RedHawks. They'll start their next offensive possession just about 7 yards past the 20. 2:31 left to go here in the second quarter. Again, Monroe leading this one 13-0. David Stiles along with Hayden McAteer. Again, this broadcast being ran by your broadcasting students here at Monroe High School.
Excellent job by all of them so far. I'm going to try to rotate a few of them in. We are looking at changing up a few places, a few people at halftime. But that plan went out the window because my sideline camera operator, Jared, bless his heart, the last red zone possession that Monroe had, he got ran over.
Chambers drops back to pass, avoids a sack, gets it complete as it's hauled in by Simpkins, and he's taken down. I think that'll be a first down for the RedHawks. It will be. Good pocket awareness by Chambers as he rolls out to the right side and then able to throw a strike straight to Simpkins for the first down.
1st and 10 again for Monroe.
2 minutes left to go here in the second half. Again, Monroe leading this one 13-0. Here's a snap. Chambers rolls out to the left, looking for somewhere to throw. Throws a bullet, and it is complete to Melton. First down. It steps out of bounds. That'll stop the clock. 1:50 left to go here in the second quarter. It'll be first down for the RedHawks.
When you have that kind of speed and a Zach Melton, honestly, any kind of crossing route is absolutely deadly to go up against if you're a defender.
Monroe showing that they can definitely move the ball here in a 2-minute offensive set as they break the huddle. 3 receivers split to the right side. 1 receiver to the left. First down and 10. Ball spotted just on the 44-yard line. Chambers rolls out to the right side. Nowhere to go. He's going to throw it across his body, and somehow he pulls it off. Young pulls it in between the hands of a defender. Tackled down at the 15, and how did he Houdini that one through there? I'll never know.
I'll tell you what, man, we always, and there goes a penalty. Probably, I hate to start guessing, but it's probably against Forest Hills. You always tell your quarterbacks, never throw the ball late over the middle of the field. You never do it. Kagan Chambers does it. The linebacker goes straight through his hands. Jordan Young sees it. Excellent job by the RedHawks of taking advantage of another mistake by the Yellow Jackets.
Chambers really rolling the dice on that one. Crossbody across the middle of the field. The linebacker for Forest Hills it evaporated as soon as it hit his hands, and Young able to pull it in.
You know, it's a totally different sport, and I know that, but you know what that reminds me of in all honesty?
What is that?
Red Sox first baseman.
Bill Buckner.
Bill Buckner.
I hate it for Bill Buckner. I can watch that over and over and almost cry. I'm like, Bill, just fall down.
That's all you had to do.
Just fall down. Go to your knees.
Went straight between his legs, goes straight between his hands right there.
Interesting thing about that game, though, he was actually injured. He played injured that whole series, had a busted up left ankle. So when you watch that playback, he hobbles all the way over there, barely gets to it, then it goes in between his legs, and he turns around and goes, what do I do?
You got to feel for the guy there. But I'm biased because I teach here. It was an excellent job of taking advantage of that mistake by Monroe. Again, Jordan Young for all his accolades and everything, he is still just a junior.
Sometimes it's just the way the cookie crumbles, and tonight it's been all RedHawks. Forest Hills hasn't been able to get out of their own way, and Monroe's been able to capitalize at every facet of the game so far.
Now, here's the weird one for you. The penalty was against us, but we had so much yardage, we still got a first down out of it. First and 10 RedHawks. And now
And looks like there'll be a timeout for Forest Hills.
Forest Hills burning their second timeout. They'll have one remaining with 1:27 left on the clock. So let's set the table here. Let's set the table here on this dinner plan we got going right now. Monroe is knocking on the door again. They're inside the 30-yard line, 35-yard line. They get the ball to start the second half. If Monroe scores right here, whether they go for 2 to make it 21-0 or not, doesn't matter. If they score right here, and then we take the second half, opening possession, to score again, that is really putting a lot of pressure on this Forest Hills offense that has been plagued by flags and penalties and self-inflicted wounds all night.
And I will say this, again, I mentioned it earlier, they've been throwing the ball a lot.
Yes.
Which that makes your offensive possessions very short if you're not able to convert first downs. The Forest Hills defense, they haven't played bad. They've played pretty decent.
Yes.
Monroe just has a lot of athletes. It's spreading the field out. That's making this defense very tired. And the defense staying on the field a long time wears them down. That's one of the facets to Monroe's game. They're able to spread the defense out, wear them down. They're going to score some more points. They have a great opportunity right here with 1:27 left to go in the second period.
You never want to see, like you said, the defense has played phenomenal, but you never want to see one side of the ball stay on the field for so long. And don't overthink it. The easiest way to keep offense from scoring is to keep them on the sideline. But like you said, when you throw, the possessions get shorter, and then when you don't convert, you run into problems.
Melton now motion across to the left side. He's going to run a bubble screen. Chambers loads up, throws it over the middle of the field, and incomplete. He targeted Simpkins. He was double coverage by the Yellow Jackets that time and just really nowhere for the football to go.
Again, you would love to see him be able to lead his receivers. Receiver that time, he about had to stop, turn around, and basically fall down to try to catch that. Got to start getting a little bit more air under his throws to lead his receivers so that they have a chance of getting these big completions because they're there depending on how you throw it.
And Zach Melton, he was running the outlet route that time as he did a little bubble to the left side. If they would have swung it, he had a few green pastures over on that left side. He'd been able to pick up a number of yards.
Especially
but I get going for the early strike here on 1st and 10. Second down and 10.
You see an opportunity, you got to take it.
Here's the snap. Chambers rolls out to the left side. He's trying to set his feet. Now he's going to take off and run for it as he scampers out of bounds. Gain of 3 on the play. It'll be third down.
Third down, and looks like they're going to call him getting about a yard there. Nope, it'll still be second and 10. But excellent job by Chambers of getting out of bounds. Third down and 10, excuse me. Getting out of bounds, stopping the clock, and honestly, the way that your defense has played so far, if you're Monroe, this is 4-down territory.
You have nothing to lose right here if you go for it. You
Absolutely
put
not.
Forest Hills with their feet kind of almost in their own end zone, and they'll have to go pretty much the length of the field with maybe less than a minute left. 1:11 left to go here in the second period again. The RedHawks leading this one 13-0 here at home in the Battle of 74. Lindsey now in the backfield with Chambers. Bunch set for the RedHawks. Split over to the right side. Here's the snap. Chambers drops back to pass. Takes off. Sprinting to the right. Looking downfield. He's going to load up. Throw it for the end zone. Ball is fought for. Incomplete as he tried to get it to Simpkins again. And still in tight coverage, trying to fit it in a tiny window.
Very, very tight coverage. But also something to keep in our minds as we go through the rest of this game. Forest Hills is bringing pressure now. Forest Hills has the size, but I don't know if they have the speed. So when you forfeit guys in coverage to bring pressure, there's going to be open spots. Let's see as this game continues if Monroe's going to be able to find those open spots to take advantage.
And like I said earlier, Forest Hills has not played bad on defense. Their pass defense has been pretty solid. Monroe, though, able to move the ball on the ground pretty much all night. But here in this 2-minute offense, you've got to be able to throw the ball and complete it. And the Yellow Jackets kind of locking them down here as they're knocking on the doors of the red zone. 4th down and 10, and Monroe will go for it. 3 receivers split to the left side. Chambers in the backfield. Here's the snap. Melton bubbles over to the left side. They'll throw a screen to Young. Incomplete. So a minute left to go here in the second quarter, and it will be Forest Hills football as they have to go almost the full length of the field. Ball spotted, on the 31-yard line. So they've got about, 69 yards to get a touchdown, but maybe even just get 3 points on the board, a field goal.
I would say, I don't know about Forest Hill's kicker, but I would say Forest Hill's coming away with any points right now is a win for them because they closed the gap. Even if it is only 3, they closed that gap a little bit.
If they do get a 3, how big is that missed extra point on the low snap? I mean, then you've only got a 10-point game.
It could prove, if it happens, it could be a deciding factor as quarterback sails one over the receiver's head there to bring up 2nd down and 10 now for the Yellow Jackets.
Hibbert just over to go as he throws it over on that right side, incomplete. 53 seconds left to go here in this first half. Again, RedHawks leading 13-0. Hibbert drops back to pass. Ball almost picked off as the defender streaking in. That was Jaden Olden again from that linebacker position. He almost got both mitts on it, and if he did, it would have been a pick 6.
That would have completely changed and potentially taken any air out of this offense that Forest Hills has. Excellent job by him of being in the right spot. You'd love to see him be able to capitalize on that, though, and haul it in. We'll bring up 3rd and 10 now for the Yellow Jackets.
3 receivers to the left. Here's the snap. Hibbert drops back to pass. He'll throw a swing pass. Big hit administered by this Red Hawk defense as he's finally taken down. First one at the point of contact was Bajan Allen as he hits him for a big stick and knocks him down.
And once again, those two, we've heard their name a lot tonight. Jaden Olden, Brajan Allen, they are getting after this offense tonight.
And Monroe wisely taking a timeout right here. 29 seconds left to go. So it'll be 4th and 15 for the Yellow Jackets. They're going to make them punt this away. And, I mean, you got a dangerous return man like Zach Melton. Why not? Take your chance right here. Roll the dice again.
I would be very surprised if Forest Hills punts this thing to him. If I'm Forest Hills coach, I'm gonna paraphrase what some of my coaches said whenever we face a dangerous returner, like when we played against Jamison Crowder in this stadium. One of our coaches went up to the punter and says, I don't care if you hit a cheerleader with it, do not kick it to him. If I'm Forest Hills, I'm not trying to give up another score with 37 seconds left. I'm hitting somebody with it that is not on the field of play.
You don't want to be Pat McAfee playing the Bears in the Super Bowl back in the early 2000s, and they said, we're not afraid of Devin Hester. We're going to kick it to him.
And
they kicked it to him, and he took it back for a touchdown on the opening play of the Super Bowl.
That is not what you want. But we do have a treat coming up at halftime. Our band is one of the baddest in all the land. And we're going to zoom out our up top camera. And a high snap!
It's in the end zone! And it's
Monroe's got it! Oh, my goodness! Jordan Young gets the ball. That is a Red Hawk touchdown!
Muff snap through the punter over his head. And Monroe capitalizes as Young able to fall on it in their own end zone. Probably the easiest touchdown you'll ever score in your life.
I tell you what, that right there, if you're the long snapper, you are on an island. That is the worst spot to be in. I've been in that spot. Whenever you sail a snap like that, only one thing happens. You held on to the ball too long when you were trying to make the motion. That time, sails it, goes into the end zone. Even if they hadn't hit it, if it had rolled all the way into the back of the end zone, they still would have given up 2 points. That would have been a safety.
Smart play there by Young to fall on it as they extend the lead 19-0. And if you're Monroe, I say you go for 2 right here. You've got all the momentum. 32 seconds left to go in the half. Why not roll the dice again? You've been pretty lucky all night long.
You've gotten lucky, and still people consider this Belichicking the game. You defer to the second half. You score before the first half is over, and then you score to start the second half. That's a 14-point swing. So I'm perfectly fine going for 2 right here because we get the ball back to start the second half, and you can add on to this thing even more.
If you're the coach, what are you drawing up right here? The last time they were this close, you saw Lindsey take it in off the left side because you spread everybody out, and it was just big on big. And it's kind of hard to bring down a big running back when you have to spread all your defenders out.
It is, but I don't know that Forest Hills would fall for that again. If it's me, I come out in the same formation. I have Lindsey back there. I have Zach Melton come in motion to give them something else to look at, some kind of shiny object to deter defenders' eyes, and finding pay dirt here when you go for 2.
Kendall, Lindsey, Melton all in the backfield with Chambers as they line up in the I formation. Heavy set. Chambers squatted down real low, and there'll be a timeout on the field, as that'll be Forest Hills'
Final timeout.
I think they've got, yeah, that's their final timeout.
That's, I tell you what, somebody up above our head.
It says they have one left.
Interesting. I'm not sure. I don't. Maybe.
I thought that was their last one.
I think that's their last one. I just don't think that our scoreboard operator in house has caught up to that just yet. But I tell you what happened there. They started lining up. A coach up top saw something he didn't like. Holler down, burn this last time out. We got to get this straight. Now, if I'm Monroe, they called this timeout. They're game planning for whatever you just showed them. I'm going to play a little mind game. I'm going to come out and look at something totally different. Yep. And I'm going to see how well coached and how disciplined this Yellow Jacket defense is right now.
Well, tonight when the RedHawks come out in that I formation, they've been very successful running the ball. And you're having the ball spotted on the 3-yard line, 2-yard line. Why not come out in the heavy set? They do. Same formation, heavy set. I don't blame them at all. Lindsey with his hand in the dirt. Kendall, the tailback. Here's the snap. Fake handoff. Chambers will keep it. Rolls out to the right side. Nowhere to go. He's corralled. Does a stutter step. Dives. 2-point is good.
He
for
makes
Chambers.
a miss. Excellent job getting the 2-point conversion by Monroe. I tell you what, man. The defender was there. You've just got to focus on breaking down a little bit, being able to stop your momentum, because just like that, you're going to go right past him if he tries to cut you back inside. And now here we are going into the half, barring an insane kick return for Forest Hills at 21-0 with 32 seconds left.
And again, Forest Hills has just pretty much shot themselves in the foot all night with these penalties on offense, and they haven't played poorly. It's just when you get backed up every chance and you can't get any first downs, this is what happens. Monroe, using their athleticism, able to put points on the board, 21-0 here right before halftime.
If I'm Forest Hills and I go into that locker room and I'm talking to these players, I'm saying, look, Monroe isn't beating us right now. We're beating ourselves with all these penalties and all these self-inflicted wounds. If we're going to have any shot of coming back in this game, we have got to clear that up, and that has got to be the rallying cry for the Yellow Jackets here with after these last 32 ticks run off this clock for halftime.
And just to tell you how good this Yellow Jackets defense is, this is the most points they've given up all year. Before this, the most points they'd given up was 14.
Yep.
So,
and when you look
the
at
offensive woes,
yes,
is what's plaguing this defense.
Yep. And like you said earlier, when you have one side of the ball out there all game, they're going to get tired. And Monroe doesn't get tired. So it'll be interesting to see if Forest Hills offense can get anything going in the second half to try to give their defense a chance to breathe.
Perry Alice with the little squib kick. It'll be fielded by the up back. He takes a lunge forward and is finally down past the 35. Maybe spotted right at the 37.
I tell you what, man, he was already kind of leaning down when he finally corralled that ball. So he was pretty much already falling down as soon as he grabbed it. He lost his footing. Now, granted, it's still if you don't have 25 seconds left in the quarter, you're in decent field position. But we'll see how many guys Monroe plays back. Looks like Gavin Davis, Jordan Young, and number 19 for the RedHawks are way back, almost 15 yards.
Isaiah Wesson, yeah, they're going to play a little bit of prevent right here. Hibbert in the backfield takes the snap, inside handoff to Smith, and he is corralled that time by Lindsey on the play. So it'll be second down. Clock continuing to roll, 17 seconds on the board, and Forest Hills may just let this time expire going to halftime licking their wounds.
And I think, yeah, exactly. You let this clock run out, and you try to rally the troops at halftime. Now, speaking of halftime, our band, like I said before, is one of the baddest in the land, and they're going to have a lot to play about right now.
So here at halftime, RedHawks leading this one 21-0 over the visiting Yellow Jackets from Marshville at Forest Hills as we get ready for this Monroe band to come out on the field. And every time you say baddest band in the land, all I can think of is Pride of the Mountains from Western Carolina.
It's almost a habit.
They are the baddest band in the land.
Well, now you got to think, too, they're not the only eye candy right now in Cullowhee. Western, I know this isn't Western Carolina broadcast, but we got two Catamounts up here, so Western is in the top 25 of the nation in FCS football, coming off an absolute demolishing of Charleston Southern. Yes, 77-21. I was joking. I put up on Facebook, whether you're in Cullowhee or across the country, Cats by 60, and then that final score came through, and I started doing the math. I'm like, oh, Lord, we actually almost beat them by 60. We're going to take our headsets off. We're going to let you enjoy this band. Enjoy the Monroe Red Storm.
This year's Red Haze edition, I like to call them Slim Thunder. Red Storm, flip the switch, and let's do this. This day is often imitated, but never duplicated. We reign supreme. That's right, we reign supreme, ladies and gentlemen. This is your Red Storm. Y'all study. This is your flag feature pure elegance as they twirl. To Bruno Mars, it will rain. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise. Let's transition with Lady Gaga and Ariana Grande. Rain All right, ladies and gentlemen, The storm ain't over yet. The storm ain't over yet. We gotta give you one more song. One of the baddest pop R&B singers of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Umbrella by Rihanna. Let's go, We are looking for raffle ticket number 558 9356. You are holding raffle ticket 558 9356. Please come to the booth. It's a red ticket. Red ticket 558 9356. 6.
Okay.
Where it is the battle of 74. Forest Hills taking on the Monroe RedHawks. We're ready to start the second half. Forest Hills kicks it off. It is fielded by Young. He is going to be wrapped up and taken down right at the 30. Again, Monroe, big lead here to start this second half, 21-0. Forest Hills has been plagued all night long by a few penalties on offense, and Monroe just able to roll. RedHawks able to move the ball on the ground and through the air as Chambers throwing the ball pretty consistently with a lot of poise, was able to make a Houdini play there before the end of the second half and score a touchdown, and then a 2-point conversion to give Monroe this 21-0 lead. As they break the huddle, Chambers snaps it. It's fake handoff. They're going to swing it out to the left to Melton. He'll take off down the left sideline, little stutter step, and a big hit, and then a flag thrown on the play.
So potentially what we had in the first half is going to continue here in the second.
And you almost have to think that the frustration has to be mounting for this Yellow Jacket team, who's really not able to get anything going here in this contest tonight. And they haven't really fared well in this rivalry in the past 20-something matchups. Coming into this one, they're only 4 wins to Monroe's 14.
And that time, a rarity tonight. I believe that might only be the 3rd penalty against Monroe, holding call against the RedHawks. But you're absolutely right. Coming into this big rivalry, having been beaten at home last year, I'm sure that Yellow Jackets faithful, this has been in their mind since last year.
I mean, they know the game very close, only 2 points.
So you're sitting there. If you're the Yellow Jackets, you have all this pressure on you, whether it's justified or not. Sometimes it's not, but they have definitely not moved up to the task tonight.
And this is a 5-0 football team. They've been very good here early in the season. Chambers inside hemmed off to Lindsey as he scoots ahead in the middle of that line. And again, they're just not going to blow the whistle soon enough for me. I feel like that play was pretty much stopped. His forward progress was stopped. They'll spot it just past the 35, very close to a first down. It'll be second down and maybe 3.
Yeah, second down and 3. Again, like you, I wish they would call the whistle a little bit earlier, but until they do, excellent job by Zion Lindsey of keeping his feet moving and gaining extra yardage. As
Forest Hill still with his 4-3 defense. Those middle linebackers have been very roving tonight. They've played well on the defensive end. They've just been on the field too long, like we talked about in the first half. Monroe breaking the huddle, though. 2 receivers to the left side, 2 receivers to the right side. Here's the snap. Chambers inside handoff to Lindsey. He pulls it. He'll keep it running on the right side, and he'll be pushed out of bounds not enough for the first down, as it'll be 3rd down and short.
I didn't see that first jacket defender that got to Chambers, but that's second. I believe it was number 7. When he comes in hard like that, Chambers was able to make the first guy miss, but by the time the second one came in, there wasn't enough real estate to make anything else happen.
10:37 left to go here in the third quarter. Monroe leading 21-0 over the visiting Yellow Jackets from Forest Hills. Just 12 miles down the road in Marshville, I formation for the RedHawks. Lindsey at fullback, Kendall in the backfield, inside handoff to Kendall running right. He'll be hit, and he'll have enough for the first down. I believe that'll be a Monroe first down once it's blown dead, as they will spot him right at the 41.
That one you most definitely want to blow that whistle earlier. A ton of jackets all over him. You'd love to be able to have the officials call that sooner.
So first down and 10 for the RedHawks here on their first offensive possession of the second half. Ball spotted right on the 41-yard line.
Now we saw a little bit on this drive earlier. It got called back because of the penalty, but Zach Melton in space. They had a linebacker trying to run out to the side to cover up. That is a very hard ask by a linebacker. Let's see if they try to get him in space again.
Melton in the backfield, Lindsey at fullback. Here's the snap. Chambers turns around, fake handoff to Lindsey, and Melton will be hit and wrapped up in the backfield. That time the Yellow Jackets defense just a little bit too strong, so they tried to do a little GH counter to the right side.
Tried it and had a lot of penetration early. Brings up about a 2nd down and 13. You know, I'm a big believer in somebody like that. You want to get him out in space. If you have him lined up in the backfield, it almost negates a little bit of that speed and maneuverability.
Yeah, 2nd down and 13. 9:26 left to go here in the third quarter. Again, RedHawks leading 21-0 over the visiting Yellow Jackets. Here's the snap. Spread formation. Chambers drops back to pass. Happy feet. He's being chased. Rolling to the left. He's going to load up. Throws it to Lindsey. Lindsey breaks a tackle. Out to the 50. Absorbs 3 or 4 hits and is finally ridden out of bounds. And he's saying that I'm not trying to cause any trouble here on the sideline. I'm just trying to let him go. We were just rolling out of bounds, as they don't throw a flag, which I think is actually a good call.
Good no call there, absolutely. And again, Kagan has struggled with the deep ball a little bit, leading receivers, but in situations like this tonight, he has been absolutely on fire, keeping his eyes downfield and being able to see those open receivers to give his playmakers a chance in space.
Melton split out to the left. Kendall in the backfield. Here's the snap, inside handoff to Kendall. A lot of room to run. First down for the RedHawks as he breaks a tackle. Still on his feet as he's down just past the Yellow Jacket 35, maybe down to the 33. It'll be 1st and 10 for the RedHawks.
And that time, it was almost like a draw, right? The defensive ends got a lot of penetration early, but because of the speed and athleticism of Namir Kendall, he was able to beat that.
8:23 left to go here in the third period. Monroe on the move. 21-0 for the RedHawks spread formation. Here's the snap, inside handoff to Kendall. Running to the right side, being chased, wrapped up by 3 or 4 Yellow Jackets and finally taken down. Gain of 3 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
Just a lot of penetration there. Again, this defense, like we've said tonight, has performed well. The offense has left them out to dry a lot. So we'll see if by the time that the Yellow Jackets are able to get the ball back, we'll see if they can get anything going on offense.
The way it's looking right now, it looks like the RedHawks may hang another 7 on them. And if that's the case, they're down 4 scores here early in this second half. That'll be a lot to overcome with less than, 24-something minutes to play.
If the drive continues to be at this pace, they're going to have Yellow Jackets are going to have a quarter and a half of football if Monroe never touches the ball again.
Read option, and it's kept by Lindsey, rolling on the left side. Enough for a first down for the RedHawks as the play is finally blown dead. Right on the 22-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Monroe.
I give a lot of credit to Zion Lindsey, but across the board with these running backs for the RedHawks, they all do an excellent job of keeping their feet moving after first contact to fight for those extra yards.
Under 7 minutes to play now here in the third quarter. Again, RedHawks leading 21-0. 1st and 10 As they break the huddle, they stack two receivers on top of one another to each side. Here's the snap, fake handoff to Lindsey. They'll throw it over to Young on the right side, incomplete, second down and 10.
If your receivers are not adept at blocking, these things are almost like a 50-50 raffle ticket.
As now second down and 10, 6:30 left to go. Again, RedHawks leading 21-0. Here's the snap, fake handoff. They'll keep it to Melton. He'll roll on the left side, breaks a tackle, rumbles ahead to the 20. Gain of 2 on the play. It'll be third down and 8.
He's definitely had more success tonight when they're able to split him out, right? When they get him in the slot and they give him some space, he's definitely been a lot more successful than when he lines up in the backfield as a regular running back.
As now we are under 6 minutes to play here in this third quarter. RedHawks just content to chew up a lot of clock. They're not going to give the Yellow Jackets any opportunity on the offensive side to amass a lot of points. I mean, this club for Forest Hills, they've been able to score a lot of points all year. I think they've only scored the least amount is 35. They have not been shut out at all this year. Again, they came into this one 5-0. Here's the snap, fake handoff. Chambers rolls to the right side, flips it out to Young, and he breaks the tackle very close to the first down line as he's pushed out of bounds. And I don't know if he got it or not from our broadcast position. It's a very long distance to that first down marker on the visiting side.
Jordan Young, excellent job of getting the separation. Again, when you have speed like Monroe does and you have anything that's a crossing pattern, it pretty much becomes a foot race.
It'll be fourth down and 2.
And with the speed that the RedHawks have, most of the time they're going to win that foot race.
Just the athletes on the offensive side of the ball make this a very potent attack for the RedHawks. They split them out wide again. Lindsey in the backfield. Here's a snap. Inside handoff to Lindsey. He has the 2 yards and more. Breaks a tackle. Rumbles ahead. Touchdown, Monroe. Touchdown, RedHawks. Lindsey in for another score as he hangs 6 more on this Jacket defense. 27-0 here late in the third quarter.
Zion is one of the best I've seen at keeping his feet moving and being able to shed tackles that time. It's not his first time in the end zone tonight. Excellent job by the big man.
And the last time we had this situation, it was a muffed snap on the kick as Perry Alice comes out to put this one through. 5:24 left to go here in the third quarter. Here's the snap. Good hold. Kick is up, and it is good. 28-0 is your score as Monroe able to hang another 7 on this Jacket defense.
And we talk about this rivalry being heated, right? We talk about it on the field. The fans in the stands feel it too. I'm not quite sure what was going on. I believe it's all been handled, but I saw a lot of people running to one side of the stadium or the other there a few minutes ago. So I'm sure that situation's been handled. Excellent job by this RedHawks team to continue to build on that lead. And hey, if I'm Monroe, the rest of this game is a 4-minute offense. Kill the clock. That's all you have to do. Take care of the ball. Don't have any mistakes. Don't have any silly penalties. And just keep running the clock down. I think we're going to see a lot of Namir Kendall, Zion Lindsey, and Zach Melton with some handoffs for the remainder of this game.
If I'm Forest Hills, they've had success running the football. They're behind right now where they're almost forced to throw it. But if that rushing attack can get going and you can hang some points up here, you may try some onside kicks and try to get back in this thing. I mean, we've seen Hickory Ridge a few nights ago when I was doing a game over at Mooresville, and now we have a fight breaking out down here to the left as the police are now breaking it up, and we see a lot of people starting to move over to the right side of the field as a lot of people now running for the exits, trying to get out of the scrum here.
you hate to see this. This has been a competitive game regardless of what the scoreboard says. You hate to see stuff like this on the game and impact a game and impact a community like this.
And both teams now going to the locker rooms. They're trying to keep everybody safe. And as the PA announcer asking everyone to restore a sense of calm, and pretty much the scrum is happening over here to the left side of our broadcast position. I can't really see what's going on, but they are getting all of the kids off the field, and I mean, that's exactly what you have to do. You have to keep everyone safe in this situation.
So what this ends up being, to an extent, is kind of a second halftime, right? You as a team, yes, this is a major distraction. Nobody wants to deal with this. This is really, regardless of which side you're on, this is a classless act. You've got to have some restraint and some respect for yourself to not have this situation happen. So whenever you come back as a team, you've got to be able to cut this out, and you've got to be able to continue, if you're Monroe especially, continue what you've been doing on the field. You can't be worrying about fans losing their temper out here. Like I said, a classless act, and hopefully it's the last we see of it tonight.
And this isn't, and I don't want to speculate because I don't know.
Right.
But this doesn't look like it is a Monroe versus a Forest Hills type fan situation. This looks like it's something that is kind of percolated here on the home side. But like I said, I don't want to speculate.
Right.
But again, this high school football is nothing to get into a fisticuff bout.
Exactly.
I mean, the thing should be that we're celebrating these kids playing a game that builds character, teamwork, and working together to accomplish a goal. And I mean, both of these teams, great accolades so far here to start the season. And again, this is the Rocky River Conference opener for both of them. So it's just one of those deals where a lot of stuff happens when rivals get together.
The biggest disappointment so far, when you look at this, Monroe was the number 2 2A team in the state. Forest Hills was number 3. So a lot of this rivalry, there's almost this sense of like make or break, right? There's almost this: if we don't beat them, then we're the rest of our season's forfeit, and it's not. So when you have situations like this, whether it's related to the game, what's happening on the field or not, it doesn't really matter. But when you have situations like this, you hate to see it. And if it is related to what's going on the field, it's not the end of the world. I mean, if the game continues this way, Forest Hills loses, they're 5-1. Monroe's 5-1. There's no reason to throw away the whole season on one game.
Well, and as we said, this is the opener for the Rocky River Conference, so this game does have big implications. But if you're Forest Hills, it's not looking too good for them right now on the scoreboard. 28-0 here in this third period. But you still have 4 other games to play. If you do well in those 4 other games, you started the season off 5-0. If you do well in those 4 other games, you come in second in the conference, minus Monroe having a problem down the road with another Rocky River Conference opponent, then you're still going to be set up for success as you head into this 2A, 3A state championship run. And from what I've seen, they've got a pretty decent offense. They just haven't been able to capitalize anything because of the penalties. Defense has been pretty solid, but when your defense stays on the field for the majority of the game, it ends up being a huge problem.
I think that if you have, like you said, it's going to take a hiccup or two, but sorry, it's a little bit hectic in the press box here right now, but I think, like you said, both teams are still going to be fine in the grand scheme of things. They're both still going to be heavily favored come playoff time as long as there's no other mistakes by either side.
From what I've seen so far, I mean, this is the first Monroe game I've seen. A lot of athletes on the field, stout defense, very physical football team, like you said earlier, very conditioned. So for me, it's how far can they go? I mean, I know that they've had the one loss on the season, but that was kind of a little bit of an anomaly, and they played a pretty decent team in West Charlotte, which is a big 4A school.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can't really equate that to the size difference.
And for those who may not be completely aware of what's going on, when you start thinking of playoff implications, right? Monroe and Forest Hills are both in a 2A, 3A conference, but for state playoff implications, they play in the 2A state playoff bracket. Bigger schools in the conference like Parkwood, they'll be in the 3A bracket. So when you have a 2A school that challenges themselves and they go up against a West Charlotte who's, like you said, either 4A or 3A, a Rocky River team that's 4A, and a Porter Ridge team that is 4A, you have a big track record of performing well against teams that, to people outside and voting on who gets in, who's ranked where, and all that stuff, it carries a lot more weight than if you would play a bunch of 2A schools. And I don't know about Forest Hills, but Monroe, we've had trouble at times finding people that are willing to play us to an extent.
As someone who played in a 2A, 3A conference,
I think that's both of us, yeah.
Pisgah was always, for me, we always had that big target on us.
Yes.
If people were able to beat Pisgah, it was a feather in their cap. It was something they looked forward to. For some teams, we had a good year. We beat the Black Bears from Canton.
Yep.
We proved ourselves against a perennial powerhouse here in the 2A, 3A. But for us, it was who can we play that will give us a challenge that will look good as we get ready to go into state playoffs. Because at one point, we were in a conference because of the size of our school with Mountain Heritage, Avery, Mitchell, all 1A schools, very competitive 1A, 2A schools. But still, when they have kind of a lackluster season, what does that really do to boost your resume? Forest Hills, if we look at them, they've played some pretty tough opponents, and they've been able to score some points, and they've been able to play pretty solid defense. Like I said, other than one game this season, they've only given up 14 points prior to this. Monroe's been able to hang 28 on them. Yep. So it's just one of those deals where in a rivalry game, in a conference opening game, it washes this slate clean. And it takes all of those other variables out. Anything can happen.
And when you look at Forest Hills' schedule, I don't think it was a lot, but they did play a few 1A schools. So when you start talking like we talked about with playoff implications and beating 4A schools, those 1A schools that you beat, even though you beat them pretty handily and they might be competitive in their division of football, it doesn't carry the same weight as a 4A team could potentially carry if you beat them like we did Porter Ridge 2 weeks ago.
And I'm going to look over the scoreboard here since we don't have anything
since we got a few
on.
minutes.
Mooresville beating Providence 35-0. That game's in the fourth quarter. Porter Ridge taking on Marvin Ridge. Porter Ridge, Marvin Ridge, two Ridges back-to-back.
Yeah, that's for whatever reason, the county got real happy with naming schools after ridges.
It's kind of like Hickory Ridge. We went over there, and I was like, there's no ridge over here. This is just a flat pasture.
So Porter Ridge and Marvin Ridge came first, and then Cuthbertson came after. And there was a little rumor going around that it was going to be Cuthbertson Ridge, and people finally said, you know what, no, we don't need three ridges in this county. Just don't do it.
That contest, Marvin Ridge 10, Porter Ridge 7. Mountain Heritage 28, 0-0. Pisgah, my alma mater, 21-0 over Franklin.
Hey, Franklin's a big game.
Franklin, that's a conference game.
That carries some weight,
for the Black Bears. So they're 5-0 right now. They actually had a kid beginning of the season almost had a perfect passer rating. So that's something to brag about a little bit there. Good old Aaron Clark from the stomping grounds.
Hey, Franklin has always been tough. I remember back when I was up at Western, my alma mater, Parkwood, we played at Franklin, and we were like the 16th seed. Tough place to play, but somehow, some way, Parkwood found a way to win. I think the very next night we came back here to Monroe, lost a heartbreaker, but I tell you what, the very next year we had a running back from Franklin, Jeremiah Young, big bruiser back, and we got to talking, and they found a way to corral him because he was a bell cow, and I said, hey, That was the high school I went to finally knock you out of the playoffs. He said, "Man, I tell you what, I didn't know what it was, but they just had something about them that night." And I think going into this game tonight, Forest Hills Monroe, we expected a close game, but if any sport has taught anybody anything, it's that, I keep saying anything, but anything can happen on any given night. Did we expect this to be a one-sided affair? No. As we have a meeting with our athletic directors, some security personnel out near the middle of the field to see kind of if whatever situation was there has been handled.
It does look like a lot of the Forest Hills fans are exiting the stadium. They are clearing the stadium, and I think this might be the ball game. Mr. McAteer.
Yeah.
Not the game. Did you hear what he said?
Hang on 1 second, and I will. Our athletic director is Tim Niedermeyer. I see him down there in that group in the on the field. So we'll wait to hear. I'm certain we will hear from them momentarily. But in all honesty, we talked about tempers flaring tonight. We talked about what this rivalry is between these two schools. Again, we are unaware of the situation. We don't know if it was a Forest Hills Monroe fan or any other combination. But when you have tempers flaring like this, and the game is, we had 5 minutes left in the third quarter. I hate to count Forest Hills out because they've been so good all season, but the deck is stacked against them pretty high. When you have a situation like this, for the safety of all those involved, not just on the field but in the stands, sometimes you may have to make these tough decisions, and it puts a mark on what was a really good ball game for us tonight.
Especially for the RedHawks. They were able to go in every facet of the game, so it was just one of those deals where, Monroe just a little bit too much to handle for Forest Hills. As they're still trying to figure out what's happening here in this contest. Again, they are making everyone exit the bleachers as the Monroe Police Department is telling everyone to exit the stadium. So we will keep you posted here. And as still the referees are at midfield with the two sets of coaches. None of the players are out on the field. Band is still in their spot. Again, 5:24 left to go here in the third. RedHawks leading this one 28-0. But it is looking like they're making everyone kind of exit the stadium.
Yeah, and we see a couple people leaving that meeting, the middle of the field, but now we have.
And again, safety is at the paramount.
Yes.
We want everyone to be safe. We want everyone to go home at night. And this isn't the first instance we've had tonight either. This has been multiple occurrences. And I think Union County Sheriff's Department and Monroe Police Department doing an excellent job tonight to kind of maintain peace and order.
And, it's not the same thing with on the field, but a lot of those plays we talked about throughout the game, they should have blown the whistle a little bit earlier. That's I'm not saying that had anything to do with it, but you see one group maintaining order, and you see another one that's just kind of letting things go a little bit, maybe a little bit too long in some people's eyes, especially in our eyes. So we just got word, I believe, that they are indeed calling this game. That is the final. Monroe, right now, we're going to hang on here for just a few more moments. But for now, potentially what we've just heard, Monroe is going to win this conference opener, this rivalry game, 28-0.
So that means that the RedHawks will improve to 5-1. The Yellow Jackets will fall to 5-1. So they both have the same record now. But, again, conference implications here in the Rocky River Conference as Monroe now 1-0 in conference, Forest Hills 0-1 in conference. So a few big things happening here. And like Hayden said, this game has been effectively called, and everyone's being asked to exit the stadium. So I think this is the end of this contest.
I think all we're waiting on, in all honesty, we have a multitude of fans that are still sitting down, and I don't know if people think that it's still an option to hang around. It's definitely not. So if you're watching this and you know somebody at the game, let's give them a call. Let's make sure that they are indeed packing up and leaving the stadium. We appreciate all of you joining us tonight for this broadcast. Again, this show, outside of me and David here, has been completely run by current students at Monroe High School, all of them less than 18 years old. Again, awesome job by them tonight. Shout out to Jared, our sideline camera operator.
He got trucked there early.
He did get one of the last red zone possessions that Monroe had in the first half. He took a big lick. And also shout out to Jitzel for picking up and taking over when we needed her to. Excellent job by everybody that I couldn't get on a camera tonight. Keeping up with social media posts. If you don't already, follow the Red Hawk Broadcasting Club, the RBC, on Instagram. Thank you again to David Stiles for coming in and joining me tonight.
And a big thanks to Hayden McIntyre as well, as he is the leader of this year happy band of students and broadcasters. So we'll end this one here again. Monroe leading this one 28-0, and they will come away with the victory. Thank you for joining us tonight. For Hayden McIntyre, I'm David Stiles, and we wish you a happy Friday evening here in Carolina.